Our students, Brian Proctor, back again with another video. And today it's time to fight. So today's lesson is going to be on drawing fight scenes or understanding and trying to do a better fight scene. So this is going to be a fairly long video, but there's a lot of good information in it. So stay with it to the end so that when you start drawing your comics, which if you're drawing a comic, you're definitely going to have somebody fighting. When you start drawing your comics, you will have a killer fight scene or fight scenes. All right, let's go to the drawing table and get this thing started. All right, drawing action scenes. Focus. You did good in the last video, didn't mess up. So drawing action scenes is just a little bit more than drawing a couple people throwing punches. But if you are doing a comic book, you definitely will be drawing some fighting somewhere, sometime, unless you're drawing a romantic novel. But and even at that, somebody's going to get slapped because, you know, they always have that little fight and break up and then make up again. So drawing fight scenes. Now, as I said, it's a little more than just drawing a punch or a kick, but let's take a second and look at this. And this is important stuff. This is not going to be a lot of wonderful, pretty drawings that you like go home and like, oh, mom, dad, look at this. This is so beautiful. This is more knowledge, and knowledge is more important than skill. So I would say 70-30. So let's just take a look at this real quick. Let's just say you have a doorway. This is a doorway. Then this doorway opens up. Which way is the door? So the doorknob is this way, like that. So then here's this little shadowy figure in the doorway. Then this person comes into the room. Then this person walks by. This is the top of the door. He's getting closer and the door is open already. So he walks by the camera. A little profile as he's walking by. And then he walks into another room. So now let's frame all these. Now, when you do a movie, or when somebody films a movie, back in the day, everything's kind of digital now. You had your clips. Like if anybody did YouTube and editing, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You have all these little what is that called? From the film. Let's just put it that way. You fill in the blanks from the film. So in order to make a movie, they might have like a 2-hour, you know, tops budget. This film can only be 2 hours long. So we're going to have to go through this film and we're going to have to splice it and we're going to have to cut out some of these things that's really not important. So they look at it and they say, okay, we need the door because he came into the door. We don't need the shadowy figure. We can have him this one, and then he goes through. So we're going to cut out a couple things. So that's the same way you're going to have to do when you're drawing a fight scene. How do you see that fight scene? So if you had to choose one of these to be the most important, if you were doing a fight scene and in your head you saw the hero fly down, he looked at the bad guy, they charged each other, they punched, he punched the bad guy crashed into a building. But you could only use one of those scenes, one of those drawings. Which one would you use? So the same thing goes when you look at a fight scene. So I guess if I had to use one of them, I would probably like use the one, the guy came in, there's a door behind him. He came in the door, he's not the shadowy figure. We see who it is, and we'll leave it at that. That tells a lot. Johnny just came into the room, he's gonna do something. So the next part could be somebody, you know, laying on the floor, murdered. You know, okay, of course it was Johnny because he came in the room, he was the only one. So we're gonna assume that. So the same thing, it happens when you're doing a fight scene. You're going to have to figure out the best way to do it. So are you going to have the actual punch? Let's quick like this. So this guy's back here. He punched the guy. He's like, you know, here's the punch. Here's the guy right there. Are you going to have the I'm getting ready to punch you kind of thing? where the two guys are like sparring off. And he's got his hand back here, and here's his fist. Or are you going to have I'm standing over him. He's laid out because I already punched him. He's knocked out. You know how they have the little stars in the cartoons. So you're going to have to see which one is the best scene for you to do a fight scene, or the best drawing to tell people what happened in your fight scene. Now, the good thing is you can use 3, 4, 5, but you don't want to drag it out. You don't want to have like I said, showing the door, and then the door opens, here's a shadowy figure. You're going to have the conversation, maybe conversation, fight, and then that's going to be it. You don't want to drag out like Dragon Ball. You know, I love Dragon Ball, but back in the day, you should watch them, but I could not watch it because they would have like 5 shows dedicated to fights. And then in the 5 shows, you got 3 shows that have flashbacks. And I couldn't, they drug it out too much for me. So when doing a fight scene, you have to know what and I can't remember what each one of these are called, but which one do you want to show in your book? Another thing with a fight scene is, just like I did here, when you have a fight, you have to be up close and personal. You can't have a fight scene where the guys are like way back here somewhere. I mean, they're so small, you can't see it. You can, but it's like you're not there. You're way back, in the bushes behind a tree looking at, what's going on. That's not really exciting. But when you're right up there and you feel that punch, and you see the blood splash out the guy's mouth and some of it splashing on top of your head, you're like, wow, what a fight. So you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to put the camera up close. That's best. You can't put the camera overhead where the 2 guys are fighting overhead unless the scene calls for it. Maybe it drug out for like weeks and weeks. Then you would have, far shots kind of like, oh, they're still fighting, let me walk away because they're still fighting. And then, even the birds they're flying overhead, they're watching them fight down below because they're just still fighting. So other than that, you're going to have to get up close and personal with your fight scenes. All right, so now, getting another piece of paper. One thing I want to point out, because I have seen this before with a lot of new drawers, is they don't really rotate the body, and you have to rotate the body. 2 things: you have to rotate the body whenever you doing fight scenes, and you have to tilt your shoulders. So, and there are people that don't really understand the shoulder blades. So you have the torso, you have your center line, you have the mountain, you have your chest just above, and you have your collarbone. This plays an important part, the collarbone right here. So let me finish this out. You have the delts, take it up for the neck. You have that little V on this point right here, comes up to this part of the shoulder, and it comes up, and then you have your head right there. Now what's left are your shoulders. So you have your shoulders here. Now let me get a pen that I just dropped on the floor. I'll use another pen, this one. This is the most important part in motion. Most time in motion, because when you raise your hand, these 2 are separate. This collarbone and this collarbone, they're separate. So when you raise your hand up, this collarbone is going to go up like that. Now, I want you to think of the collarbone and the delt is like a fishing rod. Here's your fishing rod here, and you have your reel on your fishing rod, and then there's your string. So think about a fishing rod in reverse. Here's your fishing rod, and your reel is on the other end, and then there's your string. Okay, now forget the string for the time being, but if you lift that fishing rod up, this is going to go up too. So however you do that fishing rod, that's going to go up. That's always going to be at the end of your fishing rod. So here's your fishing rod, and here's that. So when you lift your fishing rod up to cast it, that little reel is going to go up too. So let's do this, that, and then that. Now, as I said, once you have your neck, is that V goes up. Here's your head. You're going to have that shoulder right there. Now, when you lift that fishing rod up, or your collarbone, your shoulders are going to go scrunch. Your shoulders are going to scrunch up like that. It's just like an accordion. It's going to scrunch up, and then you have your arm on the end of that. So your arm is going to be on the end of this there. So it's going to scrunch up. So the higher that you lift up that collarbone here, the more it's going to scrunch up your shoulder. It's going to be at the bottom, and your arm is going to be hooked to that. So you're going to have, and your chest is at the bottom of that. So you lift your chest up, you're going to pull that chest. It's going to be like that. The chest is going to follow. Now, when doing it realistically, the chest is going to come up and then over. That's going to be that delt right here, and your arm is going to come out from underneath of it, underneath that. So that's just something you have to understand. Whenever you lift that arm up, these collarbones are going to go up as well, scrunching up that little bit of shoulder that's left. All right, so also there's also going to be a lot of twisting in your body, so you're not going to have your center line right there. When you punch somebody or when you fight somebody, you're going to turn that center line sideways. Your head is going to be facing them, and then you're going to have your guard up somehow. How would you have your guard up? So I'm not going to show you, oh, this is draw this kind of punch or this kind of stand or whatever, because I don't know what you're drawing. I don't know what kind of characters you have. I don't know what kind of fight scene you're going to have. So for someone to say, this is how you draw a fight scene, this is how you draw one fight scene, but you might not need that type of fight scene. But I'm giving you the information to draw multiple fight scenes however you see fit. So again, whenever you fight, you're going to turn to the side. That's just in the martial arts. I studied that for more than 17 years. So I think the only people that actually straight up forward are boxers. They're straight up. They're coming straight at you. Other than that, every kind of other fighting scene is usually from the side, because basically you don't want to give somebody all this target to punch at. You want to give them as less as possible, so you turn to the side. That way, if you want to do a side kick or something, you're balanced. Your leg is balanced here already, versus if you're fighting from the front, you have to turn your body, which causes you to have more time. It causes more time, just say it, to get into whatever position, whether it's going to be a kick position or whatever position, and you have all of this front. Now you have to turn, and then you're telling somebody, what you're going to do. Since you turn to the right or the left, you're going to only use the right hand or the left, the right foot. So that's why you always draw from the side, attack from the side. So, and you're going to have a lot of bends too. So your body's going to not be straight all the time. You're going to have to bend it. So in bending the body, you're going to have to turn it and then bend the body somehow, some way. And that's just, you have your torso and the tuna can. And somebody asked me about that too. Instead of drawing it straight like this, the regular can like that, just make it more of a triangle, kind of like that, or like this, depending on how much the person bends. You're still going to have that, and then you're going to follow up with the upside down house, which is your hips. For some reason, the hips and waist will always elude me somehow, some way. So of course, again, as I say, you're going to have to twist the body doing whatever fighting or turning that you want to do. And it's a good practice for other things. And then your arm is here. See, I was never good in that. And if you been with this class at any amount, if for any amount of time, it's early. I'm telling you, it's really early in the morning. I just got out of bed because I had this idea to do this. But if you've been with me for any amount of time, it's just hard for me to come up with a position, just to come up with a position, just to draw. I have to see the position, and there has to be a reason for that person to have a position. So if you are drawing stuff and it's flat, like this is not going to be flat because you're going to have curved lines. This, you won't have to worry too much about this. But this, if it's flat, then just do some circles or something in there, and then just bring that out. And that depends on if you're under the bottom or something. If you're seeing more the bottom of it, just kind of curve it around. If you put any lines on it, just curve your lines around. Like if I do this leg here, this part of the leg here, and it's flat, if I put something on him, like a strap or something, I will make the strap around like he's got a gun or something else. Make the strap around. Or even if I put wrinkles in his pants, I will curve those wrinkles around to give him that wrinkle or curved look. And if I did the legs, I'll curve it. So you take a flat drawing and you make it round. Just added knowledge. So again, work on these. Anytime you fight somebody, it's going to be more from the side. It's going to be more from the side, or they're going to be tilted forward, a Wolverine kind of thing. You're going to be tilted forward. So basically what you're going to do, you're going to take this oval here, and you're going to do it more into a more oval, more the pill shape somewhat. Instead of the head being way up high, you're going to bring the head down into the body or into this shape here. Of course, depending on how low it is, you'll see the neck, or you won't see the neck. The neck comes down into this V. At the bottom of the V, you have your collarbones, collarbones, and of course, again, you're going to have that your delts on the edge of the collarbone. So if it's at the top like this, it'll come at the top. Man, come on, Brian, get it together. If you're looking straight forward, your collarbone is going to come here, and it's going to be right on top of that delt. If you're leaning forward like this, your collarbone is going to come, and it's going to be kind of almost in the middle, because your delt goes all the way around the back like that. Same thing, collarbone. And the more you lean forward, this will not be straight across. It starts to make a V. The more you lean forward, the more of a V this is going to make. And again, it's going to be more in the center there. And this is just going to come down the chest. You may see a little bit of stomach. You may not, because this part dips. This part dips up like this. You may see some stomach under there. So you have this. You could see like a little stomach under there. And then you have your upside down house. And you just try to keep it round a little bit. Then you can have your legs. And then however you want to put your arms. If you want to put the arms back. If you want to put the arm down. Put the hand here. And remember, the head is going to go down into the shoulders. You may see some neck. Well, if you see it at this point, then your neck is going to come up from there. And then your shoulder, your actual shoulder, this is, it's more your traps. I mean, all of this could be considered your shoulders, but this is your traps. These are your delts, collarbone, chest. And then they come in here. I'm telling you it's early, but this is good knowledge. And what I'm saying by that is you have your delts like that. I can't think of that word right there. They come in at the chest. So your chest will come out like this, go down, and then come out. Come around, go down, like an indentation, like that. Same thing with the other side of your chest. It comes out like that, and then your delts. So if you're drawing a really powerful side view. Let me show you this real quick. This is you've probably seen it by now, because this is going to come out before this. Your chest comes up and it curves in, and your delts are right there on the side of that. So as I say, it comes around, in and out, comes in, around, and out. So powerful delts are going to have this little separation here between your chest and your and your delt. So yeah, just more added knowledge. All right, so you're going to do a lot of bending, a lot of twisting, and a lot of leaning forward. Those are the practice points that you have to use, and a lot of your arms going up, down, around, in front of, and so forth. So again, anytime you do a punch or fight somebody, you're going to turn your body to the side. Your collarbone is going to go up if your arm is up. If one is up, the other's down. Don't keep it flat like that. So one is up, one is down. So if your collarbone is tilted, then your bottom half is going to be tilted as well. Or if your body's tilted, your bottom half is going to be tilted as well. Which means one part is going to be higher, the other part is going to be lower. So if you're doing the tuna can, you're going to have that shape right there. So again, this is going to come here. Now, if you are punching like this way, this is fine, but to have a stronger punch, the more you turn the body, the better your punch, or the stronger your punch. So this is going to be the end. Let's say this is going to be your center line here, which means you're going to bring this in more, and then you're going to have more the lats, and then see a little more back from there and there. But the only part about that is because the head is going to be here, you won't see the head. But I mean, you're not really looking at the head, you're looking at the punch. Now you can turn the hand just a little bit, or turn the arm down just a little bit for the punch, because a punch is not straight unless you're doing like an uppercut. So but you don't want to turn it too much. You can turn it down, or you can turn it up, whichever looks better for you. That's more of like a punching like up like that. A punching across is going to be more across here, and here's your fist like that. So as I say, your chest is going to come where your arm and your lat connect, then your chest is going to come there, go around, and then you have your upside down mountain. This is going to come around, and you're going to have your love handles, which brings your stomach in more. Then you have, this is a tuna can, love handles. Then you're going to have your upside down house, depending on how you're turned. Now, again, with this, you're going to have to get in there, and you're going to have to see the fight scene. You want to get up close and personal. Now, you want to be like below the guy. You want to be level with the guy. You want to be kind of from the top of the guy, not like, bird's eye view, but top of the guy. So you have to figure out how you want to see that scene. And let's just say this is the guy. He just punched this guy. This is his neck here. This is the chin up, going back. Shoulders. And a lot of times you don't want to draw the person too close, because let's just say if I put his arm like this, because he just clocked this guy. By doing this, you're covering up a lot of your hero, unless you just want to like kind of get over and cover up that much of the hero. You wouldn't see the back of his neck, because this is the back of his head like this. Like that. So as I say, unless you just wanted to cover up the hero, you really wouldn't want to do that. Unless you just wanted to kind of get over. Another thing I tell people is, if you're putting clothes on a guy, most times if you have like a superhero, y'all have your tight uniforms. But if you're putting clothes on the person, what I just drew right here is all that you basically need. You don't need any back muscles or anything like that, because I'm going to cover all that up with clothes. A lot of people will stress over doing muscles, and yes, it's good to know how to do the muscles, but if your character has clothes on constantly, or he has like a suit, if he's a spy or military, then all you need is the form in its correct size, position, and the rest is clothes. It's just wrinkles. So you don't need to worry about muscles at this point. Come on, Brian. Do I need to eat breakfast? Do you need to eat breakfast, Brian? Okay, next example. Stop playing around. Stop playing around. All right, something that's very helpful, is very, very helpful, are figures. If you have figures, this is why I tend to buy figures. Well, I like figures. I buy figures because I like figures, not because of comics. I know what I'm doing, but it doesn't hurt to have figures. Let's just say these two guys are going to fight somehow, some way, whatever position. I'm just going to put them in some position, some almost going to fight you position. So in your head, you see this. If you don't have figures, okay, we're going to do that. Now I'm going to try to get in front of the camera. So you're going to put these people, it's really hard when the camera's above you. You're going to put these people, they're going to fight. This is your drawing, they're going to fight. So you might want to kind of tilt it up. You might want to kind of turn it around this way or this way. Or you might want to see, the camera under the bottom of these guys. Wait a minute, so I can turn around. I want to drop them so you can see from up under the bottom. So all of this you're going to have to do when you decide, you want to draw your fight scene. How's your camera? Where's your camera going to be positioned at? So that's just something else to think about. It's kind of like you're doing a turnaround with your drawings. So one thing I do when I'm drawing, I kind of see it already, but I don't know. See, it's hard for me to do. So let's just say, and this is just going to be rough, really, really rough. Here is this, and here is this guy who's kind of doing the same thing, back and up. Okay, so I have this. This is what people tend to do right off the bat. Draw that side shot. It's quick and it's easy. But you may want to say, okay, let me show more of the back of this guy right here. Let me put this guy right here. And then however that hand is. Sorry, that was an ant. That was like an ant crawling under my paper. I had to get him because he would have took his friend. He would have told his friends, because ants. I noticed ants love to eat these the little eraser marks. When they get hungry, they will eat those things. Not eraser marks, they're eraser shavings. Tripped me out that day. So anyway, and so you want to kind of like visually, you want to turn it to where angles, to see which is the best angle. You want to, as I say, go up under it maybe. Or above it. You want to get that camera right in the middle of that fight to make that fight scene look really good. I know I'm drawing small. Hopefully you can see this. It's really small in the monitor. So wherever you put that camera, Brian, turn the camera right. Give me a pen. Give me a pen. Give me a pen. Where'd my pen go? So this is your camera. This is a real camera. This is not a phone camera here. This is a real Nikon, genuine Nikon camera. Yeah, you have to just see it in your mind, and it's really good to have figures. Now you might not be able to afford some of these, but go get you a cheap G.I. Joe or something. Even the basic toys. And I'm trying to look for one little basic toy to give you an example. I only have one little basic toy, but that I don't want to feel like getting up to get it. But I do a review on I think this versus the, and I'm looking at it, the Bodycoon. I just never put it up yet, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, look at this thing. Look at this raggedy thing. Just the leg just fell off. This is the bootleg. This is the bootleg edition. So it's like 20 some dollars, 20, 22, $25, something like that. I mean, I'm sure you can afford that. Get a couple of these little cheap guy bootleg knockoffs for drawing, because you want to invest in yourself. You always want to invest in yourself. Instead of buying the new iPhone 21 when you've got like 6 iPhones already, you just do spend something on something that's going to help you make money. Basically, that's the only reason I spend money is something that's going to help me make money, or paying a bill because I don't want to get thrown out. So I invest in figures, and sometimes I just buy stuff because I like it, but most times I can use it in my comic drawing, like buying the Nerf guns. The Nerf guns were cool, but I can always use those in drawings. So I'm just setting these guys back up. And this is the part that I should cut out because it's like the movie thing. That I didn't need that to make the film any longer. All right, now again we go back to this, like doing the fight scene. How long is the scene going to be? How many panels is it going to be? And which I know is going to be more than like 1 panel or 2 panels. So when doing a fight scene, and this is not going to be right, because if you're doing a book, this is your book, this is your page, your layout page. You want to have, why is this so dark? What's wrong with you? You losing it, or is it just me? You want to have, you're going to have different size panels. You're going to have different size panels to show, what's more important. This one, the biggest one, should be the more important one, which should probably be like the close-up one. This should be bigger because it's smaller. It just makes it look like he's in front of him now. So put the finger hand right there. These could be like, I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you. This could be small, like we're running to each other. This could be, he's shooting a blast or something at the guy. This could be the blast hit the guy, or the blast missed the guy. He just jumped, he flew over it or something. And this could be whatever. This location, it's trees or something like that. And then one guy is like waiting here, checking his watch. We're supposed to be fighting in a few minutes. What's taking this guy so long? So yeah, you're gonna have to do that. But whenever you're doing fight scenes, you want to vary the sizes of the scenes. You don't want the same, this guy here, this guy's there. Then again, we got a close up of this guy here, this guy there. Then again, you want to continually twist the scenes. You want to go close. You want to pull back. You want to go at angle. You want to have turns like just off the top of my head. Just one guy here, one guy there. His face is there, face is there. Then you can switch with the vary the angle of the guy's face because his expression or something like that. Same way with doing the body. You want to be able to in and out with the people, the fight scenes. I'm sure if you're going to do a fight scene, you kind of have in mind what you want. But as I say, the first time we do something, we want to fight, we want to have that camera like right here as these guys like charge each other. And that's the first thing we always do. Instead of that, try to angle it a little bit, find different ways to angle it. And if you have something, any kind of toy, and if you are a comic book artist, I'm sure you have some kind of figures somewhere. You cannot be a comic book artist and love comics and cartoons and not have somebody's figure, some Spider-Man figure, some Batman figure. Just hold them up and then just say, okay, what would be a better shot? If I position them this way or that way. Who's going to talk? It depends on who's talking first. If there's any talking, you might want to show his face. Like if this guy's talking, you might want to show his face. And then when this guy talks, you might want to show his face. So it's just, you have to twist it around before you can do it. Just don't say, oh, I'm going to do a sideways punch, and I'm going to do a sideways kick, and I'm going to do a sideways jump. You have to put that camera in there. If you're watching these guys fight, if you're standing here watching these two guys fight, you're not just going to stand there, because these guys are going to be tussling all over the place. So you're going to be running around trying to, number one, like get out the way so you don't get punched. And number two, run around so you can get a better view. So if you're standing there and you're watching or standing there filming, you're going to be continuously moving to get the good action. So that's the same thing you have to think about when you draw. So this guy's got his little camera phone up here. This is the new iPhone. And he's like, yeah, come on, punch him, punch him. So as I say, when these guys are fighting, you're going to get out of the way or just try to get the best angles. So don't just, you can start off with, they're charging each other. They're about to fight, which is fine. It's easy for the reader to see, and it explains itself. But you don't want that same medium shot through the whole fight. You want to get close-ups, you want to get a far shot, maybe just one, but like I said, you want to stay up close and personal with the action. Now let me draw something. Something else you can do. If you're not really sure of your scene, what kind of scene you want to take place, go and look at like Dragon Ball, as I talked about, Dragon Ball, to Fight Forever. Go look at one of your favorite shows where they're fighting, and then pause the video, pause the show, and you can actually use that. It's no law against you using a position of two people. You don't want to use the two people, and here's Wolverine and here's what's his name. Take that position, change it, and just make it yours. So there's nobody's going to know that, oh, that's Dragon Ball episode 35, scene 3, 25 minutes and 6 seconds into the picture, because you're not going to be drawing Goku and Vegeta. You're going to be drawing your character and the other guy fighting, and nobody's going to know that you took that from that. Like I said, change it around a little bit and make it yours. But by doing that, you're also getting good practice in on drawing. You're looking at how the body's twisted. You're looking at the reaction of the other character. You're looking like how his neck is, when he punched him, his head, kind of cocked to the side. You're looking at how one shoulder went up or the other shoulder dropped down. You're looking at the force of the punch, the wind, the energy that came from the punch, and how it hit him and knocked his hat off or whatever. So by doing that, by looking at something and drawing it, it's not tracing. That's a whole new thing. It's not really copying, it's learning how to draw. Because when we first learn how to draw, we're looking at something anyway. We're taking something from a magazine, or we're drawing a car from a picture of a car. And that just adds to your memory. So then if you draw it enough, oh, a smiley face. Yeah, there's a circle, there's two eyes, and there's a thing. Because you saw it somewhere. You didn't just come up with it on your own. Not many artists, well, I'm not going to say that, but we don't come up with stuff on our own most times. We see it, we like it, we take it, we change it around a little bit. We're like, oh, I like that, but what if he had like some eyebrows, or give him a little nose, or a little wrinkle at his smile, and then we see something, we change it, and we make it ours. Give him some hair, some big ears, and now I have a person from that smiley face. So yeah, use whatever reference material you can, just kind of make it your own. So a fight scene, I have no idea what kind of fight scene I'm going to do. So I'm going to think about it for a second, and then I'm just going to whip a quick one out. Don't expect much. It's just a basic fight scene, and I'll try to cover all the things that I showed you in this fight scene. All right, so I've been sitting here for about 7 minutes with my camera running, trying to figure out a good fight scene, but I just can't see it in my head. I have to have a story and, to draw. As I said, I just don't sit down and draw. I sketch, but yeah. If you've been in class long, then So, I don't know. I'm just going to throw something up here. And something I talked about in my last video, which was character interactions, how when they draw, and I'll use this one, when they draw two characters facing off with each other, they always use that 3/4 view, because you want to show, both characters' faces. If I'm going to, it's 3/4 view. If I'm going to draw a fight scene and people are coming at each other, it's going to be more face off like this, because that's just how it is. You know, so that's why I say a lot of people, when they first draw a fight scene, they draw it straight like that, because you can kind of see both characters as they, you know, coming toward each other. It's just the easiest thing to do, and it's quickest for the mind to just comprehend. So, but if somebody's facing one person, that means the other person, you're not going to see too much of his face, maybe just you know, just a side of his face. But that's not going to, you know, be good for the other character unless he's got a mask. But you have to switch back and forth. But if you had to do a cover, this was a one-time cover thing, and you had to show both characters, then you'd have to do more of a 3/4 view, and it's kind of hard to really fight. It's not realistic to have somebody get ready to go up against somebody with a, you know, a 3/4 view. It's just, it doesn't work. So that's, like I say, that's why a lot of people do that. So 3/4 view or not, let's just throw something out here, some quick fight scene, which I don't really don't know yet. I'm thinking about like a kick, maybe some kind of kick this guy's going to do, which is, that's too big now. And this guy could be like blocking the kick. Something like that. And of course, all this is flat because this is rough sketch, and it has to be balanced, because when you do a side kick, depending, some people can way down here because they have to arch their body to do a high kick. Some people can do it this way, but this other hand has always daunted me. So I'm gonna go with this way. So we have this high kick. So we're gonna, center line comes down here. Center line. This is pretty much straight off balance right here. So this is when I would do my, you know, I'm gonna go pencil because I have so many lines, but the pencil is going to blind me. For the time being, I'll do this. This is my torso. I'm going to do my beetle. Collarbone is high and low. Got the center line here, which is going to go about right there. I'm going to change it a little bit. My upside down mountain. My side, this is where my chest is going to go, and it goes up here. This is going to be my delt here. The cylinder. The other cylinder. I think this is how I had the arms. The fists. And as I said, let me turn the light on. Hopefully that doesn't disturb you guys because I can't see. It's so dark in here. The tuna can, which is going to be more like the triangle. Curve it, keep it curved. This is the leg for the house. This is the other part for the house. This is the leg coming up. You want to curve that leg. Okay, wait, you got the arm here, the cylinder here, a hand, how I'm going to put that hand, that, the knee, give that some curve, and then that foot is going to be more sideways, more of a triangle. He's kicking with that heel. Like that. Then the other one is going to come down. You got to have that balance. Well, I'll stick it out more because it was more of like a jump, kind of like a hop kick. So it doesn't have to, he's not holding that balance for long. It was just like a hop and a kick. Like that. That leg is too big for the rest of it, which is fine. Slim it down later if I choose to slim it down. I'm going to come up here, and then he's going to be kind of under him. So you're going to see some of that chin. Like that. So they could be a little longer, but I'm not trying for perfection right now. Same thing here. Torso, center line. Make the center line all the way down since I know where the crotch is going to be. So you won't see shoulders because he's leaning back. So everything's going to be rounded off. There's the chest. There's the mountain. This point is the side point where the chest is going to come up. Bring this chest up a little more and then bring it back. Delt's right here. The arm is here. Maybe I'll bring the delt up a little bit more. Arm there. And what I'll do is I'll bend it here so the hand will be like right here. So he blocked it with the forearm. This is the delt's going to be right here. So that arm is going to be tucked under. Because when you do the delt, you do the circle. And then, what am I saying? The cylinder here. But the delt is the arm is going to come like from up under the delt. You should know that. You should know that. So you just have to readjust like this one. The chest is going to come up. I'll do it like that. And then that arm is going to come up from under it. So it's just kind of making little adjustments. Let me see if I can cut this light off now. Nope. Sorry. I don't think it hurts in editing because I did one the other day and it doesn't really affect it. But there's a lot of glare from this pencil and my fluorescent light. And it just doesn't, I can't see. So this leg here. This leg coming down here. And basically I just do my ovals. And then that little center muscle here, which I do that so much, I need to find out what that's called. And this leg is going back. That one, this might be a little too long because this little muscle is too long. So there, the knee, calf, and the foot. Calf and the foot. So I want to bring this neck up here and then make this chin go down. Because it was a surprise to him. This is the fist here. So that's just foreshortening. Learn to do the cylinders, which I show you in a number of videos. And then you have your nice little fight scene. They can cut it off now, I think. Where's the heel? There it is. Like that. So I'm telling you, this is so much glare. It's crazy. See it good in it. So I'm gonna just quick ink, no real detail, but it's just a quick ink. So if I can see what I did. So this is gonna come down and this is going to, where that circle is, with that oval end, you're gonna get the first set of abs. The other one's gonna come out. It's like a triangle too from just one point. And then you have, because it's scrunched in right here, then you have that. Your love handle, which is going to be pushed up because of the leg. So we're gonna have this chest. This should have went up more. Did I turn that, or do I want that thumb in there? I don't know. Yeah, anyway. A little bit of shoulder, neck comes to that point. Maybe a little shoulder there. The arm, where's that hand at? Right there, I believe. Get your leg. So this is going to come down here. That's your center, and then there. I guess if I did this really, really nicely, this could be a great the shot, the thumbnail, I guess you call that. But I'm not, so it still might be the thumbnail. And this is going to be a bona fide side kick, not a front kick, Brian. Yeah, I just screwed that foot up because that's more of a heel kick instead of more of a side kick. But it's done. So this is why I don't like really inking stuff too much until I get everything really 100% straight. So this hand would be like that. So you block that kick. So little special effects. And I said I'm going to do a video on doing special effects, but no buts. Eventually. Now, if I thought about it, I would put like robes and stuff on them so they wouldn't be like sitting there naked. So that covers up a lot of the muscles that you might not really know how it looks or how they go by dressing them. That's what I'm saying. Don't worry so much about trying to get muscles in if you are doing clothes on your characters, unless they're like skin tight Black Panther, clothes or Superman kind of costume. So, quick fight scene. Staring at it. Yeah, I might do something with it, add a little more muscle to it, or some shadow or something just to make it more of an appealing thumbnail. So yeah, you have to figure out, you have to see it in your head first. Of course, I'm going over that again. And then you want to, the next scene would have to be, I couldn't draw it this way. I'd have to turn it around a little bit or do a close-up of it or whatever. But maybe for a cover, I mean, I could have made it a little more exciting if I'm doing a cover. But anyway, I'm going to start rambling because it's the end of the video. So just remember, follow these tips. And it's not about just, oh, I'm going to draw a punch and a kick. It's about how do you want the reader to see that punch and a kick. How close are you going to come to that? How far away? Where is the camera going to be angled at? And whatever else I may have said earlier. Just follow these tips, these steps, and you should be good in drawing your fight scenes. So yeah, the twist, remember this, your shoulder blades, your collarbones, shoulder blades had nothing to do with doing the twist. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video, or for this class. So subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you have a friend, if you're an artist, I know you have a friend out there somewhere, tell that person, hey, check this guy out, he's pretty good, he's teaching something. And then yeah, bring them to class with you. So that's going to be it for this. I might do a little more detail to this just so I can use it as a thumbnail because I'm lazy. And I will see you guys in the next class. So this class is dismissed.